Welcome to December's council meeting, the last, of course, of the year for this council. We'll start open with applications for attendance by audio visual link. I don't believe we have any. Item 2, acknowledgement of country will be read by Councillor Hartley.
Thank you. Council would like to respectively acknowledge the local Aboriginal people who are the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which this meeting takes place today.
And the civic prayer, Councillor Bailey, please.
Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift, we give you thanks for the blessings you bestow upon us in this Shire. Grant to those who hold office in this council the spirit of justice and truth, of wisdom and clarity, that mindful of our responsibility and of the needs of those we serve, we may promote the true welfare of your people, exercise wisely and faithfully the authority committed to us, and advance the common good through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, councillors. Seated. Be aware the meeting's being recorded for minute-taking purposes. Apologies for absence of leave. We have 2, Councillor Mahajan and Councillor Douglas. So I want to move that way. Yeah. Councillor McNeil, seconded by Councillor Marshall. All those in favour? Aye. Declare that carried unanimously. Thank you. Confirmation of minutes from the ordinary council meeting held 26 November 2024. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Marshall, seconder. Councillor Dunn. All those in favour, raise their hand. Any against? Thank you. Disclosures of any pecuniary and non-pecuniary interest. We'll start on my left. Councillor Hartley.
Yeah, I just got one, 10.2.6, the Olympic Park grandstand, just declaring insignificant non-pecuniary interest, only because I hold a position on a committee that uses the facilities.
Thank you. Councillor Morris.
No.
Councillor Barry. Councillor Marshall.
I have 2 in closed council, 17.2 2025-0623, replacing of Rainbow Creek Bridge. The pecuniary interest not insignificant. And the 17.3 closed council, item number 2023-2024-0610 for design and construction of Muswellbrook sewer pumping station. Pecuniary interest insignificant.
Thank you, Councillor Marshall. Councillor McNeil, Councillor Scholes, Councillor Bailey, Councillor Dunn, and Councillor Ward.
No.
Thank you.
I'd like to declare a non-insignificant non-pecuniary interest in item 10.2.4, removal of hazardous trees, as I reside in the street that is considered.
Thank you, Mr. Olsart. There is no mayoral minute. Item 7. Public participation, we have nil. Any business arising from the previous meetings? Nil. On that, we'll move straight into business. Item 10.1, planning and environment. The motion you have in front of you reads, Council provides the public with a notice of intention to adopt the draft local orders policy by placing it on public exhibition via Council's website for a period of 42 days, and a further report be submitted to Council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Morris, Councillor Dunn. Anyone wish to speak for? Anyone wish to speak against? I'll put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Any against? Declare that carried unanimously. Thank you. 10.1.2. That the information in the report, so it's the Planning, Environment and Regulatory Services report, that the information contained in this report be noted. Someone want to move that way? Councillors Hartley and Councillor Morris. Any discussion? There's no discussion. That to vote. Everyone in favour?
Aye.
Any against? Thank you. 10.2.1. So the draft memorials naming of council facilities and donations of park furniture and trees policy for public exhibition. This one. So it's the motion you have in front of you reads: council provides notice of intention to adopt the attached draft memorials naming of council facilities and donations of park furniture and trees policy by placing it on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 42 days. And 2, a further report be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Morris, Councillor Marshall. Anyone wish to speak for? Anyone wish to speak against? If that's the case, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? I declare that carried unanimously. Thank you. 10.2.2, draft staff housing assistance policy. Again, another one for public exhibition. Reads that provides notice of intention to adopt the reviewed draft staff housing assistance policy by placing it on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 42 days, and 2, a further report be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Scholes, Councillor Bailey. Anyone want to speak for that motion? Anyone against? That's the case. I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? I declare that unanimous. 10.2.3, public exhibition of amended Denman Tourist Park Master Plan. It reads, council provides notice of intention to adopt the amended Denman Tourist Park Master Plan by placing it on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 42 days, and 2, a further report be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Barry and Councillor Ward. Anyone want to speak for that? Anyone wish to speak?
I just got a question. Against it.
Yes?
On the,
Hang on. Anyone want to speak against? That's the case, yes? Councillor.
on the way around the one-way circle, how big's the turn where you turn around and go back towards, to go out? How much swing?
The General Manager.
Thank you very much, Councillor Marshall. We'll take on notice, please, if that's okay, provide the information to council.
Just looks like a sharp turn. That's all.
Oh, I see. Thank you for that.
So there's no further discussion. I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? I declare that unanimous. Only Councillor Woodruff was here, eh? I'm sure he'll be watching.
I welcome people just coming in.
10.2.4, removal of hazardous trees. So the motion you have in front of you reads: 1, the removal of A, the privet tree at 37 Adams Street, Muswellbrook; B, the red gum tree at Denman Cemetery; C, the Currajong tree at 11 Karula Avenue, Muswellbrook; D, the red iron bark at 43 Kalgaroo Avenue, Muswellbrook; and E, the silky oak tree at 6 Rutherford Road, Muswellbrook; and F, the wilga tree in the forecourt of Muswellbrook Regional Art Gallery. And 2 reads the replacement of the wilga tree in the Muswellbrook Regional Art Gallery forecourt with Tristianopsis laurina, so that's that, luscious water gum would have done. The removal of dead wood, application of fungicide and soil improvements to try and save the 12 Himalayan ash trees located in the Cook Street median. We got someone to move that way, Councillor McNeil and Councillor Morris. Any discussion? Anyone want to speak for that motion?
I'm actually happy to speak for this motion. It's good to see, yes, we are removing some very dangerous trees. but we are also considering replacing and trying to revive some other trees. We're not just removing everything across the board. We are actually going to work towards regenerating what we do. So kudos to staff for actually doing that.
Anyone want to speak against? Yeah, I agree, Councillor Barry. It is certainly a good outcome. If that's the case, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? I declare that unanimous. 10.2.5, change of waste collection day, Woodland Ridge and Ironbark Ridge. It reads that council approves council's contractor's requested change and 1, will determine in collaboration with council's contractor an achievable changeover date, and 2, will prepare and issue letters to the affected properties notifying of the change. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Marshall, Councillor Bailey. Someone want to speak for that motion? Anyone against that motion? There's no conversation. I'll put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Any against? Declare that unanimous. Thank you. 10.2.6. Olympic Park grandstand and amenities design. The motion reads, council endorses the Olympic Park grandstand and amenities design. Option 4, to allow detailed design documents to be completed to proceed to construction tender. Now, I just want to clarify option 4. Option 4 is this A3 document you were handed out today is option 4. It just clarifies, well, what it does, it clarifies the discussion at the recent user group meeting, along with council staff and councillors who attended that meeting. It's what I would call the agreed position at that meeting, at what we would now call the final, possibly the final meeting. Anyway, so we have a mover for that. Mover for that, Councillor Barry, Councillor Bailey. Anyone want to speak for that motion? Councillor Barry.
Happy to speak for this motion. There's been a lot of work over a lot of years, a lot of conversations, a lot of people involved, a lot of representatives from numerous different committees, sporting clubs, the community, councillors, and it is really good to actually see us getting to this position where we can move forward and start turning some bricks around. So,
Agree. Anyone want to speak against?
You also speak for.
Yeah. No,
We don't allow, but I will this time, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'd like to support Councillor Barry's words, and I've been on this committee for about 10 years, and the amount of work that goes in by the staff over and above their role is not seen by the majority of people. So I would like to call out Paul Chandler, Matt Lyser and the General Manager for their incredible support, and also the long-serving community reps of Gus Mather, John Marco, and Tony McTaggart, and King, for being there from the start. I think we've got to celebrate our small victories, and this is certainly one of them. So,
Thanks, Councillor.
Thank you.
Yeah, I must agree with both Councillor Neil and Councillor Barrett. It's been a long road to get here, but one that certainly has a good prize at the end of it. So anyone that sees the design and what it'll look like, I certainly look forward to it being built some years now down the track, of course, before finalisation, but certainly is a great facility, and I might add, because I don't think it's in the report, it meets regional standard. So there's some standards you have to meet to be a regional facility, and this meets those. So it is a great outcome, of course, if it gets voted up, because I haven't put that yet. I'll put that now. All those in favour? Any against? Thank you, councillors. Unanimous. 10.2.7, Capital Works Program, Water and Sewer. The motion you have in front of you reads that Council 1 endorses the priority list of project works to be undertaken under capital budget allocations of water and sewer for the 2024-25 financial year. And 2, approves $150,000 of funding reallocation from mains renewal and replacement program GL 6310.4340.504 to vehicle equipment replacement acquisition sales program GL 5330.4378.504 for the procurement of a non-destructive digger. And 3, approves proceeding with the procurement of a non-destructive digger from the water capital budget. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Scholes, Councillor Dunn. Anyone want to speak for that motion? Councillor Scholes.
Yes, I commend staff for finally addressing pump station 1. I'm sure many people don't realise, but it's the most critical bit of infrastructure in our sewage thing. Provision of water and waste and disposal of waste is one of our core services, and this is our most vulnerable point on our sewage system. It's good that we're finally getting it sorted and resolved, and I fully acknowledge that we're going to have to move some money from A to B to achieve this, but I think the result warrants the activity.
Thanks, Councillor Scholes. Anyone want to speak against the motion? Any further discussion? There's no further discussion. I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimous. 10.2.8 large plant replacement program. Reads, Council 1 supports 2024-2025 large plant replacement program as prioritised in the report, and 2 approves the transfer of funds from the plant reserve to proceed with purchase of the compact footpath sweeper. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Barry, Councillor Marshall. Any discussion? So anyone want to speak for that motion? Anyone against? That's the case. I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Declare that unanimous. Thank you. (10.2.9) New South Wales Disaster Recovery Funding Arrangements, Benjamin Funding of Wybong Road. Reads, Council 1 authorises the General Manager to sign the Regional Roads Transport Recovery Package, TF New South Wales funding deed for Wybong Road, and 2 endorses the engagement of Transport for New South Wales as a prescribed entity to undertake the delivery of the scope of works subject of the Regional Roads Transport Recovery Package, TF New South Wales funding deed for Wybong Road. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Bailey, Councillor Hartley. Anyone want to speak for that motion? Anyone against that motion? There's no discussion. I'll put that. All those in favour? Anyone against? Declare that unanimous. 10.3 Corporate Services. January 25 Ordinary Council meeting. Council determines that 1, an ordinary meeting of Council be held on Tuesday the 28th of January 2025 in the meeting room, Muswellbrook Library, 126 Bridge Street, Muswellbrook, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and 2, a workshop for councillors will be held from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. immediately prior to the ordinary council meeting. So this, normally we don't have a council meeting. The benefit of the gallery, we don't have a council meeting in January, but frankly we've just got too much work on. Staff just can't fit enough in. So that's the reason for the request for the extra meeting in January. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Marshall, Councillor Morris. Any discussion? Anyone want to speak for that? Anyone against? I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Thank you. See you in January. No. And another one. 10.3.2. So draft community engagement participation plan for public exhibition again. So Council resolves to place the draft communication engagement and participation plan on public exhibition for a period of 42 days before final consideration by Council. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Morris, Councillor Barry. Anyone want to speak for? Anyone want to speak against the motion? There's no discussion. I'll put that. All those in favour? Anyone against? Declare that carried unanimously. Draft internal audit charter. Council adopts the draft internal audit charter. You have a charter you have in front of you. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Dunn, Councillor Morris. Anyone? Any discussion? Anyone want to speak for? Anyone want to speak against? There's no discussion. I'll put that. All those in favour? Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you. Draft debt recovery policy for public exhibition 1034. So reads that 1, council provides a notice of intention to adopt the draft debt recovery policy by placing it on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 42 days. And 2, a further report be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Have I got someone to move that way? Councillor Scholes, Councillor Morris. Any discussion? Anyone want to speak for that motion? Anyone against? That's the case. I'll put that. All those in favour? Anyone against? Declare that unanimous. 1035. Muswellbrook Shire Aquatic and Fitness Centre policy for adoption. Is that council adopts the attached Muswellbrook Shire Aquatic and Fitness Centre policy. The policy you have before you in the business paper. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Hartley, Councillor Marshall. Any discussion? Anyone want to speak for that motion?
Sorry, can I just check that this one's going to be on display rather for 28 days instead of 42 days?
This is adoption, council.
I beg your pardon.
This has already been.
It's been
Sorry.
Been on, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, this one has been on. Anyone want to speak? Or anyone want to speak for?
I'd just like to commend staff on the work they do towards trying to do the right thing by the community, and I think it's time and money and effort well done.
Thanks, Councillor Marshall. Anyone want to speak against? Okay, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimous. Yeah, I agree, Councillor Marshall. Is certainly a good policy and gives us some flexibility to be able to deal with issues immediately, which is good. 1036, State of the Shire Report 2021 to 2024. Council notes, so just for noting, council notes the 2021 to 2024 State of the Shire Report. It's a report you have in front of you. Someone to move that way? Councillor McNeil, Councillor Morris. Anyone want to speak for? Investment's good. I agree, Councillor Wood. Anyone want to speak against? Okay, I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimously carried. Thank you. 1037. Report on investments held as at 30 November 2024. So this is just for noting. Council notes council's investments as at 30 November 2024. The report you have in front of you. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Scholes, Councillor Barry. Anyone want to speak for the motion? Does there anyone want to speak against the motion? If that's the case, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimously carried. Thank you. 1038 is just our monthly financial report. Council, again for noting, council notes the financial reports for the month ending 30 November 2024. Councillor Scholes has moved it and Councillor Hartley has seconded it. Anyone want to speak for the motion? Anyone against the motion? I'll put that motion then if that's the case. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimous. Thank you. Community and economy, 10.4. 10.4.1. Draft awarding of grants and contributions policy for public exhibition. Reads that Council provides notice of intention to adopt the draft awarding of grants and contributions policy by placing it on public exhibition via Council's website for a period of 42 days. And 2, a further report be submitted to Council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Someone want to move that way? Councillors Morris and Councillor Marshall. Anyone want to speak for that motion? Anyone want to speak against that motion? I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimous. Thank you. Council grant funding update. So Council notes the information contained in the report and endorses Council staff to review and apply for funding opportunities contained within the report. Someone prepared to move that way? Councillors Hartley and Morris. Anyone want to speak for that? Anyone wish to speak against that motion? I'll put that if that's the case. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimous. Thank you. Minutes of committee meetings, 11.1, local traffic committee meetings. It is for noting the minutes of the local traffic committee meeting held on 12 November 2024 be noted and the recommendations contained there in the report be adopted. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Marshall and Councillors Bailey. Any discussion? Anyone want to? No one for? No one against? I'll put it. All those in favour? Declare that unanimous. Carried. 11.2. So 11.2 again. Local traffic committee minutes for noting the minutes of the local traffic committee meeting held on 10 December 2024 be noted and the recommendations contained therein adopted. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Marshall, Councillor Morris. Anyone want to speak for that motion? Anyone against that motion? If there's no discussion, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimously carried. 11.3, Australia Day Nomination Committee. Council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Australia Day Committee held on 10 December 2024 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Someone want to move that way? Councillors Morris and Barry. Any discussion? Anyone want to speak for that? Councillor Barry.
Happy to speak for it. Just want to put it out there, I'm a little disappointed that we had no nominees for the junior sports person. I am sure that there are junior sports people out there whose names should have been on this list. So next year, I'm looking forward to seeing how many junior sports people we actually have on this list, because I know there's some good ones out there.
Absolutely. Anyone speak against? You want to talk? Yes.
Question, on that note, Mr Mayor, do you feel that there may be an issue with the advertising given productive uptake?
I've had this discussion with staff and no, we don't, because it happened a number of years before with different awards. I mean, it is a problem, of course, and it's a problem of timing something we're not going to change. Australia Day is going to be when it is, of course, but so it's obviously it's a difficult time in December with us having to decide it before Christmas as well. But it's the same issue we have with a lot of advertising with jobs that recently. It's really difficult to get the message out there. It's just a matter of timing, but that's not to say we shouldn't continue to do everything we can to make sure we advertise it well enough. So if there was no discussion, I'll put that. All those in favour? Anyone against? Thank you. Unanimous and carried. We have no notices of motion. Councillors' report starting on my left. Councillor Hartley. No. Councillor Morris.
Nothing.
Councillor Barry. Councillor Marshall. Tamworth.
Martindale School, yeah. I had the privilege of attending the Martindale School Christmas party come presentation, and there was one young lady there that cleaned up big time. It was named Rebecca. Oh, you did? Sorry. I thought he'd tell me. Anyway, it was a great afternoon. Lovely cake, heaps of sandwiches. You know, a lot of my kind of things.
And now we've got it recorded.
And yeah, it was a great afternoon.
Thanks, Councillor McNeil.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I've got two quick reports. The first one is that Councillor Marshall and I attended the Upper Hunter Weeds Authority meeting, the first one of the term. And I'd like to congratulate Councillor Marshall for his being elected to Deputy Chair on that committee. Forgot about that. Councillor Morrison from Scone was elected as Chair. We are going to put a bit of information report to you after the next meeting, give you an idea of what the council or the authority role is. But just generally, it used to be noxious weeds, but now it's targeted weeds on roads, private properties and mines. So the committee writes to the mining companies, urges them to do better with their control of weeds, and inspects properties and controls weeds. Yeah, so that's, look forward to that from our Deputy Chair. The other report I was going to say is I attended the
parliamentary inquiry at the Workers' Club on the proposal for nuclear energy in LGA. And I'm not going to go into what I feel the outcome is, or what the findings speak for themselves. But what I wanted to just say is there was such a vast diversity of opinion, and I feel I'm pretty well informed on the matter, but I certainly learned a lot more. But what I will note is the amount of respect that was shown by everybody on that committee, and I don't know if it's just because Big Jim Rapicole is the chair, so no one wanted to get out of line, but it was really good, and I think that allowed the information to be teased out a very informative way. So, yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it,
Yeah, well,
if anything. Councillor Scholes.
Okay, 2 reports. One is the second part of the South School presentation. The Mayor was there for the first part. I was there on my own behalf and Rotary's behalf for the first part, and then for the second part I represented council. The thing I would note about the South School is I've been going to South School presentation now for something like 30 years. The way the children presented themselves at that school is improving markedly from year to year to year. They were immaculately presented, they were immaculately behaved, and I felt like setting up a cheering. I was so impressed with them. The other one was I represented the Mayor at the high school presentation day, and I can add some more ammunition to with regards to the comments with the Australia Day and Sporting Award. There was one particular person at the high school who absolutely creamed with regards to sports and variety of sports and the quality of sports, and we're talking up to state level. And they were recognised within the school, but we received no nomination of council. That went through my brain at the time, why wasn't this person at least a nominee? So I do agree we need to somehow, we might have to directly address the schools, might be one way we do it. Again, the way the school presented itself and the quality of the students that were awarded was immaculate. The particular thing I enjoyed about the day was that the local member sat down in the crowd and I sat up on the stage. So I took great pleasure in working with that, David, and enjoyed it, David.
Councillor Bailey.
Yeah, as mentioned by the previous councillors, I attended the senior high school presentation last night. Thank goodness for the air conditioning in that hall. There's 22 students that go to that school, and they're expecting, I think, 21 again next year. So that keeps that school going, and you can see by the students and people that were present there last night that it's definitely a valuable asset to the little community. So yeah, I was privileged to represent council and hand out a number of the awards there. So, and they passed on their thanks to council for the donations that was made towards those gifts. Thanks.
Councillor Bailey, Councillor Dunn, Councillor Ward. It is that time of year, I guess. We have lots of presentations, and I've visited a few myself. Both primary schools in Muswellbrook I visited this year. Obviously on other meetings for some of them, and the second half of the South presentation, as Councillor Scholes alluded to, I agree the quality is fantastic. It's and the way that the kids conduct themselves. We did have a brief discussion earlier, probably not a discussion for now, about council being more involved with these schools, and I think it's something we should all certainly should all move forward with. But we'll have that discussion further. But certainly, congratulations to all the schools, and thank you to councillors for putting your hand up to represent council, represent both the mayor, councillors, and yourselves at all these functions you have. There's been a really fast start to this term, hence the meeting that you have just agreed to have in January as well. There's been a lot to work on and a really fast start, and I thank councillors for their effort to date. So that's the good news. The bad news is it isn't going to stop. It's going to continue to move at this pace for some time yet. So But again, thank you for all your efforts, certainly in the last couple of months. That's the councillors' reports. We have no written question. Sorry, we have a written question. A written question to be noted. A written question is from Councillor Barry regarding Denman Bridge. So the information contained in the report be noted. Someone want to move that way? Anyone against? Oh, sorry. I'm going to move it first. Councillor Barry, of course. I pointed to Councillor Barry, never said a name. Councillor Bailey, seconded. Anyone want to speak for that? Anyone want to speak to that? Councillor Barry.
The reason I have put this in the council paper and asked for it to actually stay in there is being a community member from Denman, I do have some concerns around the increased movements with the res over the Denman Bridge. I believe that 70% of their vehicles will use Denman Bridge. And it's not a new bridge, it's not a shiny bridge. The impact, if there's any damage or any structural damage to that bridge, is going to be quite significant on that whole community in that direction. And the roads bypassing Denman Bridge are not going to sustain the traffic that goes on that road for very long, which is why I have flagged this as a problem. And I think we need to continue to push to try and get that bridge replaced.
Anyone else want to speak to? Anyone want to speak at all? I think Councillor Barry, we feel all councillors have similar concerns about the use, the timing and the use of these roads. We have met on a number of occasions with probably every department we can meet with now, and certainly the Minister included. And I think even that said, we still have some concerns about its timeliness and what may or may not happen. So I think we all share your same concern. Sorry, we had a seconder yet, Councillor Bailey. I'll put that then. If no more comments, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? We will. 15. Any questions for next meeting? I'll just open it to the floor. Any questions for next meeting?
Just got one,
Councillor Marshall.
maybe two. I had a question the other day that what happened to the Liberty Bridge from the Simpson Park? Can we get a report on that for the next week? Is it never coming back, or is it coming back?
What do you call it?
Apparently there's the Liberty Swing, sorry.
Oh, Liberty Swing.
State Bridge.
Yeah.
Look, because apparently there's five or six different business owners towards that bridge, as well as the variety. Sorry.
Okay, we'll get you an answer for that one. Any for Councillor Morris?
Thank you. I had exactly the same question, actually.
From the same bloke.
It possibly was from the same guy. And also whether or not it was an opportunity to reinstate the old lookout in Muswellbrook up on the common area there, which I think it exists now, but certainly not accessible to the general public.
I think we're going to answer that now, but I won't.
So it's about 12 o'clock at night when the
So
blue and red lights are up there.
anyway, thank you, Councillor Morris. Any further questions for next meeting? Yep, lighten up. Yep, Councillor McNeil.
I was alluded to some mature trees that have died in the park at Denman. The general manager would be so kind to remind me of the name of that park.
I believe it's Upper Park, Councillor.
Yeah, if they could be assessed and replaced.
Hubble Park is the park on the bottom side of the railway line.
Yes.
It's on the side.
Gated parking. Yeah.
Certainly did, Mr. Mayor.
Any further questions for the next meeting? Thank you. It does say questions. So
Another question. Water to the showground, have we moved anywhere, progressed in any way, shape or form?
Thank you,
Thank you.
Councillor.
we'll answer that one now.
Thank you. We have been in ongoing discussion. We've actually got a meeting with Mr. Googe either next week or early in January. It is a matter that council is very positive towards. It's just managing how we manage the funding towards it. and we will help Mr. Gooch with any grant funding that's available.
No further questions for next meeting. Item 16 is an adjournment into closed council. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Barry, Councillor McNeil. All those in favour? Declare that unanimously carried. Thank you. Yeah. I will now read through, we're recording again. Thank you. Closed item 17.1. So council has resolved that it accepts the submission from Muswellbrook Group Proprietary Limited for the lump sum of 342,280 excluding GST for contract 2024-2025-0620 supply and installation of playground equipment and softball at Karula Park, subject to successful negotiations regarding the provision of the contractor's security. 2, authorise the General Manager to accept the submission from Oztech Construction Proprietary Limited, option 1, for the lump sum of $349,979.78, excluding GST, should the negotiations with Muswellbrook Group Proprietary Limited prove unsuccessful. And 3, delegates to the General Manager the authority to enter into a contract for the supply and installation of playground equipment and softball at Karula Park. Great result. 17.2 is a replacement of the Rainbow Creek Timber Bridge with reinforced concrete blocks culvert. Council has resolved that 1, it accepts the tender submitted by KCE Proprietary Limited for contract 2024-2025-0623, replacement of Rainbow Creek Timber Bridge with reinforced concrete box culverts for the lump sum of $363,800 exclusive of GST. And 2, delegates to the General Manager the authority to enter into a contract for the replacement of Rainbow Creek Timber Bridge with RCBC under contract 2024-2025-0623. Another bridge fixed, which is great.
The last bridge.
Yeah, it's a great result. You're right. 17.3 contract 2023-2024-0610 for the design and construction of Muswellbrook sewage pumping station. Council has resolved that 1, it approves the transfer of $933 million, 273 from the sewerage account, section 64 of sewer reserves, to ledger number GL 6310.4364.504 to enable fulfilment of the contract project budget for the replacement of Muswellbrook Sewage Pumping Station, MSPS 1, and 2, accepts the tender by KCE Proprietary Limited for contract 2324-0610, design and construction of MSPS 1 for the lump sum of $3,266,971.85, exclusive of GST. And 3, delegates to the General Manager the authority to enter into a contract for the design and construction of MSPS 1. 17.4, the demolition of 88 to 108 Bridge Street buildings. Council has resolved that it declines to accept any of the tenders for contract 2023-2024-0583, demolition of 88 to 108 Bridge Street buildings, as further tender contract clarifications are required. 2, in accordance with clause 177(3)(e) of the Local Government General Regulation 2005, enter into negotiations with the preferred tenderer as it is considered most likely to achieve the best value outcome for council. 3, delegates to the General Manager the authority to enter into a contract for 2023-2024-0583, demolition of 88 to 108 Bridge Street building, subject to satisfactory conclusion of contract negotiations. And 4, submit a further report to council advising of the outcome of contract negotiations. Looking forward to that. 17.5, demolition of fire damaged building. So council has resolved that it endorses proceeding generally in accordance with the draft deed of agreement, so the works and sale for the fire damaged building identified in the report. And 2, delegates to the General Manager the authority to negotiate the final deed of agreement and proceed to execution. Just before we close, again, thanks councillors for the first couple of months of this council. As I said earlier, it has been quite hectic and unfortunately might remain that way for a while. But thank you. We'll probably still see each other again before next week. But everyone have a good Christmas. Stay close to those ones you love. Enjoy it. And we'll see you very soon after Christmas if it's not before. I declare the meeting closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.